it's me again, and I'm joined by that other guy.
Yes, that other guy, who doesn't have a name, apparently.
Neither do I. We're nameless. We're wanderers.
Oh, no. No, it's Frezno and Rainiac bringing you another Doctor Who review.
Yes. And we finally made it to 1988.
Woo!
With Remembrance of the Daleks. Or, actually, since that story is set in 1963, we made it to 1963.
Yeah, we finally made it.
By the eyes of 1988. But we're in 2013 reviewing it, so, oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
It only took us, what, 4 weeks between deciding to review it and actually reviewing it?
That's what happens when you're in a rickety old TARDIS. It's like, ooh.
Damn you time zones. Right.
Yes, a little background on Remembrance of the Daleks, if you don't know. A 1988 serial, as I said, starring the 7th Doctor, Sylvester McCoy. And it is also sort of the 25th anniversary story for the show, which is relevant since we're in the 50th anniversary now. And
really? Because I thought Silver Nemesis was the official.
Oh, yeah, Silver Nemesis is probably the official one because it aired on the actual 25th anniversary, but Remembrance of the Daleks is the better story, and it has better ties to the backstory of Doctor Who, so I'm just going to count it as the 25th anniversary story.
You make a convincing argument.
Silver Nemesis is not a lot of people like it. I personally think it's fine. It just tries to do too much at once. But we're not talking about Silver Nemesis.
In other words, it's a Stephen Moffat finale.
A Stephen Moffat finale spread out over, well, actually, 75 minutes. My God.
I couldn't resist. I'm always having a pop at Moffat in these reviews, but I can't resist.
Yeah, you keep popping at Moffat because he's the Doctor Who fanboy, and he's watched all these old episodes, and he cultivates the best parts of them.
Well, in fairness to him, he doesn't really do that much in this one, which I think we should probably talk a little bit more about. And also,
yeah, let's talk about the actual episode.
We're going to have to go spoil the crap out of it in this one.
Yeah, so here's your spoiler-free review for Remembrance of the Daleks. It's very good. Go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it right now.
Yeah, and then you can come back, or if you don't give a shit about spoilers and just want to hear us talk about old Doctor Who, then you're going to sit right where you are and drink your juice box and whatever. Okay, so, spoiler country. Let's roll.
Okay.
Alright, so this story is, as I said, set in 1963, and it has ties to the original Doctor Who episode, An Unearthly Child, the very first with William Hartnell.
Yes. Which I've heard of.
It's basically going back to the start of the series, not long after the first Doctor left London in his TARDIS. That's pretty much what happens in the very first episode of An Unearthly Child. 2 school teachers from Coal Hill School are concerned about their student Susan. They go to find her in a junkyard with her grandfather, and they walk into this police box, and it's a TARDIS, and he zips off to someplace, and that's the first episode. So this one, Remembrance of the Daleks, happens after they zip off, and it's the same place, but with Daleks and Sylvester McCoy. Now, this isn't your first Sylvester McCoy venture.
It's not, no, it's not even my first exposure to Remembrance of the Daleks. I've actually seen a rather brilliant moment from it. I think it was my first exposure to any kind of classic Doctor Who. Like, still when David Tennant was still playing the Doctor.
Yeah, that was... Nah, yeah.
But it's not my first exposure to a full McCoy story either. That would be Paradise Towers.
Which I recommend to you, because it is the best of that previous series.
If you can stomach Bonnie Langford, it's underrated.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the entirety of Trial of a Time Lord. I've got a tolerance for Bonnie Langford. I'm fine. But yeah, Paradise Towers is actually it's bonkers but brilliant. We'll say that.
Yeah, but we're not talking
and
about.
And that's our mini review of every other Sylvester McCoy story that is not Remembrance of the Daleks. We've done Silver Nemesis and Paradise Towers. Oh yeah, guys, stay away from Tom and the Ronnie. Wait, what? Oh, right, Remembrance of the Daleks.
Yeah, can we please get back to the episode in hand here?
Okay.
We have limited time.
Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor. Now, I love the man. This was... You never forget your first Doctor, is what they always say. You never forget your first classic Doctor. And for me, that was McCoy. And this story was the very first classic serial I watched. Somewhere between series... I think it was, Series 5 and the Christmas Carol. Somewhere between there, I got into old Doctor Who, and I've never looked back. So what did you think of Sylvester McCoy's Doctor in this episode?
Well, you've told me that McCoy is your favourite classic Doctor of all time. And after watching this episode, I can see why he is. He's just brilliant.
In more ways than one.
He's got a lot of not attitude, really. A lot of attitude.
True. It's very true.
Like in Paradise Towers, he's more of a sort of like the fatherly figure to Mel.
Yeah.
There's none of that in Remembrance of the Daleks. Maybe because he's been confronted with his mortal enemies.
The Daleks, yes.
He's
more of a...
I've got the word. He's a lot darker.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good, because around this time, John Nathan Turner hired a new script editor named Andrew Cartmel, and he sort of went on a whole direction with making the Doctor more mysterious and a darker figure, and trying to figure out just who the hell is this guy? Doctor Who, if you will.
Yeah, he had a plan.
Yeah.
A master plan, if you will.
So they say. And it's interesting where that went, but we're not going to delve into that. That's a whole other can of worms. But for now, just know that McCoy is a master plotter in this episode, and he is always one step ahead of pretty much every major player in this episode.
Oh, is he ever?
And the Daleks, and the people working with the Daleks, and the people working against the Daleks. He's doing his own thing.
He is the master manipulator in this episode.
Exactly. And yeah, Ace, that's his companion. Probably the best classic series companion, in my opinion.
Probably. I think she is. I mean, Romana was pretty good in City of Death.
I have not seen much Romana. I hear that era is not well regarded, but City of Death is like the one good note of it.
Well, she was pretty good in that, but no, Ace is by far my favourite classic companion so far.
And it shows. She's just...
Possibly ever. She really is feisty.
Oh, goddamn. It's brilliant what they do with Ace.
Yeah. She's not afraid to fight a Dalek. She's not afraid to talk back to the military. She's not afraid to do just about anything in this episode.
That's damn right.
And can we talk about her sort of great moment?
Maybe we'll talk about... Well, maybe we'll do like we did with Caves Androzani and keep that for the whole cliffhanger discussion.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, supporting characters?
Yeah, there's a few supporting characters. None of them are that particularly memorable, with the one exception, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. First of all, we have the RAF. Now, you thought they were like a fictional organisation like UNIT. Like the predecessors to UNIT. I'm here to tell you they're a real thing, because my grandfather used to work for them.
Yeah, but what I mean in the context of the episode is they're obviously supposed to be a homage to UNIT. I mean, the group captain, the Doctor even slips his tongue and calls him Brigadier.
Yes, but the first time you talked about this with me, you did think that they were not real.
I knew the RAF was real.
Oh, you were just yanking my chain. Okay.
Yes. Yes, but they're all right, though they are a little incredulous and kind of hard to work with. They don't really believe the Doctor. They're like, aliens? What the hell?
They're a little one-dimensional as well.
They're basically there to blow up Daleks.
I mean, the only two RAF characters who have any kind of development whatsoever are the group captain, whose surname I can't even remember, played by Simon Williams.
Group Captain Gilmore.
Thank you. Group Captain Gilmore, played by Simon Williams, and he basically just is there to act as an antagonist towards the Doctor. Like, he's not a villain, he's technically a good guy, but he and the Doctor butt heads on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
And then we have Mike Smith.
Mike Smith is a very interesting character.
Sergeant Mike Smith, I should say.
Sergeant, yes.
It starts off, and you think, oh, well, this is just like a glorified red shirt, or a mauve shirt, to use the terminology. He will be killed off horribly in the second or third episode. And then you reach the second or third episode, and that doesn't happen. Instead, you find out he's actually a turncoat.
Yeah, he's working for one of the Dalek factions.
Well, he is, and he isn't, because he doesn't actually know it's the Dalek factions. He's working for a man called Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
who, rather disturbingly, it's kind of implied, is a Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah, there's lines that suggest that, and it's a bit creepy.
A bit creepy. He basically says on the lines of, we picked the wrong side in the last war and I was jailed when I spoke out against it, so yeah, uncomfortable. I mean, it's been well established that the Daleks are meant to be, for want of a better term, space Nazis.
Pretty much.
I mean, they want to rule the universe, they want to exterminate anything that's not to their satisfaction, like racial purity, and also the two warring factions that when we talk about the Daleks, that really...
Well, that didn't come about until later, but yeah, pretty much in 1963, World War II was still fresh on the minds of people, so when Terry Nation wrote the Daleks, yeah, he probably had the Nazis in mind.
I think he definitely did, although there's no proof for that. I think the only proof you need is to actually watch the Daleks in action in the classic series, because my god.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Daleks then.
Okay.
They're pretty cool in this episode.
Yes, they are.
They've got the whole two warring factions thing. It's a bit weird. It pops up in 80s Doctor Who serials. I think it started with I want to say the Peter Davison Dalek story, but it might have started in a Tom Baker one. I haven't seen all the Tom Baker Dalek stories. I've seen the one we all should see, Genesis of the Daleks.
Yeah.
Beyond that, no go. But yeah, basically there's the Renegade Daleks, who are black Daleks, led by Ratcliffe and a strange person in a chair who seems to sound a lot like Davros.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit about that person later on.
And then you have the Imperial Daleks, who are white Daleks, and they are led by the Emperor Dalek, who's a big Dalek in a dome shell.
He's a big old dome face, as I kept calling him.
And they both hate their guts. And this is obviously some sort of parable of racial purity and racism and stuff. But hot social issues in 1963.
But never mind that. Dalek Civil War, come on.
Dalek Civil War.
I mean, that's just terrific. And the thing I like about this is it's not like they've just pulled the concept of the two warring factions out of their arse. There is actually precedent for it. It was established in a previous story.
Yeah. It's happened in Resurrection of the Daleks, Revelation of the Daleks, so they're just continuing the line there.
Exactly. So that's actually good storytelling. Good continuity.
It's great.
So shall we talk a little bit about what happens in the actual episode itself?
Okay, sure.
Alright, so episode 1 is basically just to establish that the Daleks are indeed the main threat, although an episode entitled Remembrance of the Daleks, you'd kind of expect that.
Yeah, that's the thing with these stories. It's like... Well, they don't even try to stretch things out, at least. Previous Dalek stories will be like... At the end of episode 1, the cliffhanger is, oh no, it's a Dalek! But in this one, they don't even go for that. Like 10 minutes into the episode, wham, it's a Dalek. Sergeants fire at it. Oh no.
And I will just point out in that scene, I really love what they did to the effects with the Dalek lasers.
I love that.
They sound so much more visceral in this one.
Yeah.
Like when they hit a guy, you actually wince.
Like they get flung back, and it's practical. It works.
R.I.P. Tip Tipping, who's the stuntman that did that rather iconic fall into the corrugated iron.
Oh my.
Tip Tipping did a lot of the stunt work for just about everything.
Brave soul. Brave soul.
And he's got a cool name too, but yeah. Basically, it's pretty great, but the first episode is just to establish that the Daleks are here, establish the setting and the main characters. It's not until we get to the cliffhanger episode 1 that things really pick up.
Oh yeah, you gotta talk about the cliffhanger episode 1, because it's one of the greatest of Doctor Who history.
Yeah.
It's not quite up there with Caves of Androzani episode 3, not gonna let you stop me now, but it's pretty good.
That's the best cliffhanger.
So the Doctor and Ace are in the basement of the school, and they find a Dalek transmat. And they break it. So Ace is like, oh, you broke it. Great. Yes, but there'll probably be an operator or something. What would that be? Another Dalek. Oh. And then a Dalek comes up, and they run up the stairs, and well, you might have heard the old joke, oh, how the hell are Daleks supposed to conquer the world if they can't climb stairs? But this Dalek hovers over the stairs and is yelling to exterminate the Doctor. And that's actually the first time that ever happened.
Yeah, everybody thinks that happened in Dalek for the first time. They're wrong. It happened it happened right here.
To quote Phil Sandifer again, who I will never stop quoting ever. The reason that it happened in Dalek and it was a shocker is because nobody friggin' watched Remembrance of the Daleks in 1988.
And that's criminal because it's such a great episode, but a great story. I keep doing it again. I'm sorry. Now.
Great
serial.
Yeah, great.
I still can't wrap my head around this serial crap.
You'll get used to it. But yeah, Dalek hovering over the stairs, great cliffhanger, yelling "exterminate, exterminate" like they usually do.
Oh, and he gets locked in as well by the guy that gets choked out by Vader in Empire Strikes Back.
Yep. Well, one of them. I mean, Vader chokes out like 2 or 3 guys.
The first guy.
The first one. Admiral Ozzel.
Ozzel, yes, that's him, yeah.
I know my Star Wars, too.
Michael Sheard, who was in Doctor Who a lot.
Yeah.
But he locks them in. But no, he locks the Doctor in. He lets Ace out, then he clobbers her to the ground.
Yep.
And the reason for this is revealed in episode 2. He's another Dalek agent.
He's, like, been mind-controlled.
Yeah, but unlike Ratcliffe, he's not doing it in his own free will.
Yeah.
He's got a little chip behind his ear. Another thing episode 1 does is introduce another one of the characters I forgot to mention.
Oh, which one?
The creepy little girl.
Oh yeah, the creepy little girl. She keeps dancing around, and every time you see her, they play this really creepy synth version of "Ring Around the Rosy."
Oh, it's so creepy.
It's spooky.
I think that might have been the origin of creepypasta. Seriously, because it's unnerving.
I don't know about that. It's spooky though.
But creepy
spooky.
Children are nothing new in fiction. Hell, the Mind Robber even did it.
They did, didn't they?
But anytime you see a child, chances are it's going to behave like creepy-like.
Yes.
And she certainly does. Her acting is hit and miss.
Well, she's a kid.
Yeah, she's a kid, but there are certainly good child actors and there are poor child actors, and she's sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
And she's watching this because she's going to be like 27 now or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think... somehow I doubt it.
I do this in every review. I apologise. Like, if person A is watching, I'm sorry for taking the piss out of you.
Yeah, so we can continue with our...
Yeah, episode 2. So, now the RAF find out about the Daleks and what they are a little bit from the Doctor. Then it's a very strange scene that doesn't make much sense. The Doctor goes to a graveyard.
Ah, this does make sense. It didn't make sense when you first watched it, but I knew what was going on.
Well, of course, you've seen it before.
Yeah, but this is integral. So go ahead.
Well, I'll let, since you know what's going on, I'll let you...
Alright, so the Doctor, after Ace blows up a Dalek with an anti-tank rocket...
Yeah, that happened.
Yep. He just goes off on his own, and he goes to a pallbearer, I suppose. And he fishes it, and he gets a special coffin he left there when he was the first Doctor. This is sort of implied with a little cute hint. And as an aside, that's what I like about this story. It's that it references an unearthly child, but you don't have to have seen it to still enjoy the episode. It isn't a continuity-obsessed mess.
I agree. That's how you implement nostalgia.
Stories.
That's how you implement nostalgia properly.
Yeah. So there's this weird coffin in this pallbearer's shop, you want to say, and the Doctor takes it out with him. It flies out with him, actually. But not before he puts Ace's baseball bat inside it, and there's all this weird smoke and stuff in there. It's something weird. And then he basically buries it.
Yeah.
And with the help of a blind vicar. Yeah.
There is a rather funny scene, though, when the vicar is, and the coffin is being lowered, he says, "I must say your pallbearers are very efficient. They're silent as ghosts."
Yeah, because it's floating, and it's floating with kitschy 1988 composite shots.
Oh, the effects are awful on that thing.
Well, Doctor Who didn't have, like, a Star Wars budget, so we can forget
No,
that.
but they could have made a bit more of an effort.
I guess. So, you may wonder why the hell the Doctor is burying a weird hovering coffin in 1963 England.
We find out.
We'll find out. We'll get into that when we get to episode 3. But then he goes back, he gives Ace her baseball bat, and now it's a super bat!
Yeah.
How the hell did it become a super bat? Well, we'll get to that. But yeah, it's a super bat.
He leaves Ace behind in this sort of boarding house that happens to be owned by Mike's, is it mother or grandmother?
grandmother, I guess.
Anyway, he agrees to let us stay there, and Ace is supposed to stay there while the Doctor and everyone else goes off to do whatever they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then she is disgusted when she sees a no coloured sign on the window. So on the basis of that, she takes off, goes back to Coal Hill School, and all hell breaks loose.
Well, I think partly she went there to get back her ghetto blaster that she left there the last time she was
Or her tape deck,
but also the whole no colors thing.
That's pretty shocking even in 1988.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, alright, it's set in 63, but that's pretty shocking for 88.
But yeah, we're kind of doing a plot summary here, but it's kind of to understand what the hell we're talking about, you kind of have to know. But yeah, so Ace goes to the school, and then more Daleks are beaming in on the transmat, and they show up, and then the best thing ever happens. So Dalek comes up into the chemistry lab. It's like there's a small female sighted, and Ace yells, "Who are you calling small?" and beats the shit out of the Dalek with the bat.
Oh, that's not even doing it justice. She knocks its eye stalk off.
Well, it's a super bat, to be fair.
With one hit!
She has the balls to beat the shit out of a Dalek.
The ballsiest companion ever. And then as she's running away, she does it again.
And need I remind you that as the Dalek is blindly firing around this chemistry lab, she jumps out a window!
I forgot about that bit.
Yes. My God.
Ace is the best companion ever. I don't care if her real name is Dorothy. I don't care if her real name is Dorothy. Ace is the best companion ever.
Oh, bring back Rose. Oh, she was the best. No! Rose was afraid of Daleks. Ace beat the shit out of her. Actually, didn't Rose shoot a Dalek in like the series 4 finale?
And Rose kind of destroyed them all. At the end of series 1, but that wasn't...
Alright, Rose, you get a pass. You get a pass, yeah. I guess. But
no, Ace is still
Zoe,
brilliant.
step up. Zoe, step up. Oh, grab onto the console. Oh, no.
Gratuitous ass moment. No, Ace is pretty damn good, as we've established.
Yeah. So, episode 3, more stuff happens. They save her from Daleks, and
Oh, we forgot to mention the two scientists.
Oh, yeah, the two scientists. They're alright. They basically are just like, oh man, alien stuff.
One does destroy a Dalek, though, like beating it to a pulp.
Yeah,
with
this
the
is in the beginning of episode 3. She beats the hell out of the Dalek outside its casing with the super bat.
Which, interestingly, now has claws.
Yeah, well, that's part of why the Renegade Daleks and the Imperial Daleks hate each other, because the Renegades, or the Imperials, I think, are one of them.
Yeah, they've mutated beyond the original...
I'm pretty sure it's the Imperials, because, yeah, those were the white Daleks.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But, again, Nazism.
Yeah. So, I think we should about get to what the hell is going on with the Dalek warring factions and what they want and why.
Yeah, because that's the major part of this episode.
Okay. So this is McCoy's plan, in part. We'll get to the denouement of it in episode 4, but the hovering coffin is a device called the Hand of Omega. Omega being a famous Time Lord who helped invent... time travel, I think.
Yeah, I know who Omega
Eye
is.
of Harmony, something like that. Yeah. And the Hand of Omega, the hovering coffin, is a remote stellar manipulator. And the Doctor took it with him, I guess, when he fled Gallifrey with Susan back in the day. And now, all these years later, he's come back to deal with it.
Do you know
basically what?
Sorry, go on.
So basically, he wants the Daleks to have the thing. He tells Ace this outright. I want them to have it. We don't know why the hell he wants them to have it. We just know he does. Again, the master manipulator thing. He came here with a plan.
Oh, yeah.
He had to have. He didn't just randomly pop up in Daleks. No.
He keeps his cards extremely close to his chest.
Yeah. So it's good. But... he wants them to have it, but the problem is he didn't count on the warring Dalek factions, so he has to make sure the right group of Daleks gets the hand.
Yeah, and I know it sounds strange that there's a right group of Daleks, but he means right in relation to his plan, not the right side to win the war.
And the right side, in this case, is the Imperial faction, but unfortunately, the Renegades are getting at the Hand of Omega.
Yeah, with the help of Ratcliffe.
It's around this time. and Mike, which about this time we discover that Mike is a traitor.
Yeah, he's a bandit, Arnold.
Yep.
It's really strange me making that reference when he fought for the British.
Alright, well, I think we should fast forward a little. Oh,
yeah, let's get to the cross.
Episode 4, yeah.
Oh no, you forgot the one major thing, the big reveal about episode 3.
Oh yeah, that happens
The
in episode 3.
Davros figure in the chair takes its helmet off, and this is after the Daleks have slaughtered Ratcliffe's men, by the way, because why the hell not?
Because they got the hand of Omega. So
it takes its helmet off, and instead of who you'd expect it to be, and I'm not going to say in case that gives it away too early, it's the little girl.
Yep, creepy little girl is the leader of the Renegade Dalek faction. Well, actually, yeah, they basically just turned her into a Dalek agent with the machine.
Yeah, she's not the leader, but she's the mainframe, the database.
Yeah, essentially.
They call it the battle computer.
Yep, and then she pulls out a Van de Graaff generator and tells her the time controller.
It totally is a Van de Graaff generator, dude. Could they have not had a better prop for that?
Probably not. We'll just speed things along quickly with the plot summary here.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Doctor and Ace go to Ratcliffe's base, turn off the time control, and the Doctor frigging leaves a calling card. I guess it's got like High Gallifreyan written on it. I imagine it's saying, "Ha ha! You fuckers try to travel in time now. Love the Doctor."
I don't know if you use the F word because it's the 80s and a children's TV show, but
well, it's High Gallifreyan, and you know.
Well, true. But the fact is that he's got the nards to place a calling card, and basically said, "Come and get me now, Daleks."
And while this is happening, the Renegade Daleks and the Imperial Daleks are fighting each other, because the Imperials are invading the Renegades to get the Hand Omega back. And to help with this, they employ the Special Weapons Dalek.
The best thing ever in this episode, and I know I said that a few times, but it really is, because the Renegades are winning.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, this thing, which is going to be described as a Dalek pepper pot with a massive gun sticking out of the front,
shows up and woof! Incinerates 2 Daleks in one shot.
And it does this again and again and again.
It's the greatest thing. It actually had a little cameo somewhere in Asylum of the Daleks, but I didn't really spot it.
It did, but it's a blink and you'll miss it. It doesn't have any action, it's just there and then it gets blown up by the back.
I mentioned this too. It's hiding along with the Shan Sheath in Webley's House of Wonder.
No, that was on the screen. I've seen that. That's confirmed. I'm vindicated. God damn it.
Well, you give me a screenshot when we're done here.
Challenge accepted. Right.
Okay.
Point is that particular Dalek is in the episode, but it just gets blown up by the one that wants to go forwards.
Let's get back to the thing here. So, let's see. Okay, so the Imperial Daleks get the Hand of Omega and fly back to their mothership.
And the Renegades are down to 1 Dalek.
Yeah, we'll deal with that in a bit, but good, that's exactly what the Doctor wanted. So then he puts in some sort of transmission feed to the Dalek mothership using the 1960s TV and the transmat. He just basically fucks with it and does it. Signs. And then we get the Great Chinwag with him and the Emperor Dalek. And guess what?
Yeah, the dome opens and it reveals the little girl. No, it's Davros.
Yeah, it's Davros. He's actually the leader of the Imperial Daleks, which might not make sense because I believe he was the leader of the Renegade faction in Revelation of the Daleks, but who gives a crap?
It's Davros. He can change size at the drop of a hat.
So the Doctor and Davros are chin-wagging, basically, and, well, you get the line, the classic line about Davros is yelling the classic Dalek thing, "We'll become more powerful lords of time!"
And then the Doctor goes... Davros goes, "We shall become," the Doctor cuts in with, "more powerful, crush the lesser races, conquer the galaxy, unmentionable power, unlimited rice pudding, etc., etc."
He's just making fun of Davros, and he's just goading him, really. And Davros is like, "I'm gonna do it, Doctor. I'm gonna use that hand, and the Daleks will become lords of time, and they're gonna get you." So Davros is just getting incredibly pissed off at the Doctor mocking him, basically, right? And then the Doctor changes gears. He's like, no, Davros, I beg of you, don't use the hand. But Davros is just too pissed off. He's like, we're gonna fucking get you. Deploy the Hand of Omega. And then you get the scene, of course.
Yes.
So, the Daleks deploy the Hand of Omega. They fly it from Earth to the heart of Scarrow's sun, their home planet, if you didn't know that. And then Scarrow's sun goes supernova.
And vaporizes Scarrow.
The planet... Yes. And then the hand comes back to the mothership to blow it up. And Davros gets away, but Davros is yelling, "You've tricked me, Doctor!" No, Davros, you tricked yourself.
And there's a very strange moment when Davros actually asks for pity from the Doctor. Which...
I have pity for you.
I never thought I'd see that, because...
Yeah.
When has Davros ever asked for pity from anyone?
It's... And McCoy, specifically, programmed the Hand of Omega to turn Scarrow's sun supernova. He himself planned all along to vaporize Scarrow's sun. Man who never would my ass!
Yeah, he really is the master manipulator in this story. But while this chaos is going on in the Dalek ship, which, by the way, landed as the episode 3 cliffhanger, which we've got to mention, but it's not that important, really.
Yeah.
While this is all going on, down on the ground, the Renegades are having their own problems. They've been wiped down to just one unit now, plus the girl. And in the midst of all this, Ratcliffe and Mike, who's actually broken out of custody, for want of a better term, steal the Van de Graaff generator. I mean, the time controller.
So the little girl chases after him, and,
she Palpatines Ratcliffe!
To death.
She just goes like, da-da-da, bang! Lightning out the fingertips.
And then Mike goes to hide in the boarding house, but she tracks him down too. This leads to a pretty funny scene where he opens the door and the little girl's there. And she just smiles from it and nods. It's like, "Hi there!" And then BAM!
She doesn't even say hi there. That's even funny. She just smiles and then
she
bang.
She doesn't even say it. Dead. It's just a smile as if to say hi there.
Yeah. That bit she's actually pretty good at acting. So if you are watching, little girl that's now not, good job.
Jasmine Breeks.
Jasmine Breeks, yeah.
Something like that. I don't remember your name that well, but...
But the Doctor's not finished with the destruction.
Oh, yeah. There's one Dalek left, remember?
The Supreme Dalek, I believe.
And he pretty much walks up to it and he says, "You're the last of your race. I blew up your planet."
Gee, what does this sound like?
Yeah, it can't be any episode we've seen before.
Moffat? No, actually, no, it wasn't Moffat, was it? Davies!
Shearman!
That works too.
Rob Shearman wrote the episode.
Yeah, he did, but... Yeah, whatever. He goes up to this Dalek, basically convinced it it's the last of its kind.
And the Dalek goes out of control and vaporizes in a psychedelic 80s wipe. I don't know.
Yeah. As I said to you, it was like Dead or Alive.
Yes.
Seriously, if you took that footage and then just put the song over it and then looped it, it would fit.
I know what I'm doing when I'm done this video.
You're getting a copyright violation for YouTube.
Okay. So I think that's about... We have talked for 35 minutes about this episode. Oh my god.
One more thing. The Supreme Dalek dying, effectively, breaks control over the girl, who doesn't get her name, she's just the girl.
Yeah.
And she also spins right round like a record baby right round.
Oh god.
And she's eventually freed, and she can't comprehend what she's done. She just collapses sobbing into Ace's arms. And that's Remembrance of the Daleks.
And that is an absolute classic of Doctor Who, and everyone should watch it.
Yeah. We've talked for 35 minutes about this. We could have talked a lot longer. It's that good.
It's so good. We just basically went into plot summary mode, just because it's so complex.
It works for my reviews.
That's a trait of it. It's so complex, and you can't sum it up that easy. It's just so good. Go watch it.
Yep. Anyway, I think we should end it off here.
Alright. So next time, how about we learn more about this Omega chap?
That sounds good to me.
See you then, everybody.
Bye.